Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton. I hope you enjoyed last month, the month of August, all the soundtracks. Some of you probably figured out that I got my uploads crossed over. So here's a trick. I sometimes do a few of these at a time because those of you that follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Tommy Burton75, will know that I was out of town for a few days, and so I wasn't down here in the bunker music room uploading videos for you. So sometimes Daily Records isn't always daily. Sometimes they're just daily uploads. Either way, you get a different record every day here on Daily Records. I have a new phone camera, so if stuff gets crazy, I apologize in advance as I'm figuring out some stuff with this thing, so forgive me. But let's get to today's Daily Record. For September, we're just going to have some fun. And talk about just some records. So today I'm going to talk about the debut solo album from Beach Boy Brian Wilson. This was released on July 12th, 1988, simply called Brian Wilson. Good title for an album. And it was a kind of an anticipated release. Sire Records put this out. And it was eventually voted one of the best albums of 1988 by the New Musical Express. It even garnered the nickname Pet Sounds 88. It's been reissued a couple of times. There was a Record Store Day version that came out a couple of years ago on Record Store Day, and I think you can still find copies. It's a double disc version on this beautiful marble vinyl, and you can find it out there pretty regularly. This is an original 88 copy. And so it's been put out. The Record Store version is sort of a version of the Rhino Records deluxe edition that came out with some bonus tracks. But let's talk about the album itself. It's a pop album, and a lot of Brian Wilson fans have kind of cited it as a pretty decent album. Now, it cost a lot of money to produce, and it was the first major release from Brian since 1977 with the Beach Boys' Love You, which got mixed results from critics and audiences. But the big thing about this album is that this album was co-produced and co-written, perhaps, with the controversial therapist Eugene Landy. A lot of the songs are about love, a little spirituality. The lead-off song on the album, Love and Mercy, has become a Brian Wilson sort of staple. He closes his concerts with it. But the sessions behind the album were quite contentious. What they really wanted, a lot of the people that were participating, they wanted this serious artistic statement. And instead, the album is just more conventional pop songs. Now, side 2 does close with an interesting track called Rio Grande, which is sort of an expansive sort of pocket symphony, as Good Vibrations was, kind of a 1980s version of Smile with some different musical themes going on. And it definitely kind of brings back sort of the experimental quality of Brian Wilson from that period, from the late 60s and early 70s. But he worked with several producers on this track. The executive producer on the original release, the name was subsequently removed from later issues like the Record Store Day. Executive producer, Dr. Eugene Landy. And Dr. Landy took co-writing credit for a lot of the songs on this album. Later withdrawn, particularly after lawsuits and different things. So Landy's involvement is questionable at best. Excuse me. And so, as an album, it's okay. It's got some nice pop songs, lush Brian Wilson harmonies. Some of the highlights are songs like Love and Mercy. Melt Away is a beautiful ballad. Nighttime is quite interesting. Let It Shine, co-produced by Jeff Lynne. Andy Paley was a collaborator with Brian on a lot of the songs on this album. I mean, this isn't in the vein of major artistic statement like something like a Pet Sounds or even a Love You. And the production sounds pretty dated. It sounds like a late 80s album. It sounds like something from the 80s. And so that can put a lot of people off. But it's pleasant enough. And if you're a fan of Brian Wilson and you're a fan of that interesting songwriting, I think you'll find this to be a rewarding release. So therefore, today's Daily Record, the 1st of September, is the self-titled 1988 Brian Wilson solo album. Brian Wilson. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, TommyBurton75. In the meantime, I'll see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.